Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Smithy. Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be teaching you guys how to make gaming thumbnails in 2017. Now I actually got done filming, just editing the video, as you can see it in the bottom part of the screen there. That was actually a really simple edit because I was just explaining things. But if you want to see a video on how to edit gaming videos in 2017, then drop a comment, tell me that, because I'll be sure to do it if requested. So the first step, you want to just open up your thumbnail software. Photoshop's the one I'm going to be using and teaching you how to use. Obviously it's going to be different for every single software, but this is the most common one people use. I'm sure you can search a video on how to get it for free on YouTube and you'll be fine there. What I'm going to do is click File in the top left hand corner and then click New. You can do that, or you can just click Control and N. I normally just click File and New, it's just easier. But we want to make sure these two are set to pixels. I just leave these all like this. But then make sure the width and the height are set to 1280 by 720. Now you can't set this as 1080p because YouTube's resolution for thumbnails is 720p. So if you set it to 1080p, then it'll just be way too, the file size, like the file will be way too large, and you'll only see a small portion on the video. So make sure it's set to 720p and just click OK. Now the next step is to actually open up where you recorded your video. And just open the video up, and then once the video is open up, you want to find a point where you thought was good for the video. So I'm going to skip to the point where it's daytime, and then skip to like maybe back here, not here, just a tad bit back. So I'll wait till I cut down this tree. Right, there we go, I've got my screenshot. Right, now I've got my screenshot, I want to go back into Photoshop and click Control and then V. And that'll paste your image into Photoshop. Now my computer's running a bit slow because obviously I am exporting a video at the minute, so it's just gonna, and I've got OBS open. So it's gonna be running slightly slow, but not slow enough to sort of mess with my quality at all. So you just want to click Control T, and then it'll bring up this page. Then make sure you're holding Shift and then drag this down. As you can see, it's being very slow because of that, but just drag it and move it. They want it still not the right size, obviously. I tend to move it just a bit outwards to make sure it doesn't have any. There we go, put it more this way. And click that tick there, and there we go, you're in full quality. Now the next thing I do is File, Open, and then I go into the folder where I've saved my foresting, because if you have like a logo of the game, try to save that to your computer, because if I go to my desktop now and then go to my D drive, YouTube, Photoshop, no, it's not Photoshop, D drive, YouTube thumbnail items, as you can see I've got a PNG of the forest. And once you've got your PNG, you want to click Control A to select it all, and then Control C to copy. You can close this down, I don't need that. Then Control V to paste. Then you want to do is click Control T, which will free transform it. Then for my thumbnails, I normally put it in the top right and top left hand corner. And then if I'm doing a different video, I'll put it in the bottom left hand corner. I'm messing my words up here, so I'll put it about there. There we go. Make sure you click tick, because it won't be full quality until you click tick, and you won't be able to do anything else until that also. So now what you want to do is create a new layer with this button down here, and then move it underneath that forest layer. Then you want to click this tool. Now my settings for this, I just have it on 102 pixels. I'll actually put that down to 100 pixels, and then I've got this first brush here. Make sure it's set to black, and then you go all the way under the forest like that. You can put a drop shadow on, but I just prefer to do this because it gets everything behind it. I'll tell you why I also do it on my text as well, is a valid reason behind that. Right, so you've got that now, and that just adds a bit of sort of shadow to it, not adding the drop shadow, so you can custom it basically. And then what you want to do is go on top of this one and add a new layer, turn this into a text layer. Now I have my pixel set to 175, and I use the font Big Noodle titling. And I'll go down here and I'll type in episode 7. Now once I'm here, I'll go to my move tool again, and I'll move it to about here. And then what you want to do from here is double click on this, and it'll bring up this, and then I go on gradient overlay. I click on that, and then I go to this, and then I drag this all the way across. Then I'll go into the middle thing and tap that, which will turn that to that orange thing, and then I'll click on this one, and click on the colour, and then change it to wherever I want it. I want it a bit darker than that. As you can see now, we've got our little thing in the corner. Now yet again, you want to click new layer, drag this underneath, go on the same brush tool you set up the settings earlier, and then make a little sort of thing around it. I'm going to go like that. Now I actually want to cover up that thing in the corner, so what I'm going to do is I'm on this layer right now, and I'm going to grab the drop shadow, move it to about there. What I'm going to do is actually just add a bit more there. Then you want to select your episode 7 and the move tool. I'm just going to move that there as well. Now the reason I don't just add a normal drop shadow is because when you add a drop shadow, I like to add 2 drop shadows, and how you do that is you like go on it and then you rasterize the layer style. When you rasterize a layer style, that means that you cannot just click on the text and edit this to like episode 6 or like episode 8. And the reason I want to do that is because I can save this as a template, as a PSD file, which is what Photoshop reads and opens from, and then I can just change the text. If I'd rasterized the layer to make a drop shadow, I cannot do that. So if I was just making a one-off thumbnail, I would probably just rasterize the layer and do a drop shadow because it personally looks a bit nicer in my opinion. But because I want to do this, edit it, and well, to be honest, I don't know really what I prefer. I think at the minute I'm liking these ones because it really separates it from the background. I'm not done with the background yet, guys. Really separates it from the background, but that's just up to you. I just do it like this, I find it a lot easier. But the next thing you want to do is make sure you click on the background layer and then click on the magnetic lasso tool. Now what I'm going to do this time is, because a lot of the edges and these wood things, because this is what I'm going to highlight and make stand out more, because a lot of these edges are very straight, I'm going to click on the polygonal, I don't know, polygonal, whatever, lasso tool, because sometimes the magnetic one will latch onto different things that you don't want it to. Seeing as how things are quite angular, I may as well just do that. So I'm going to click where I first want to start, and I'm just going to go around this object. Now this is really easy. Like if you can't do this, then you might need to sort of get some help, because you just click where you want the bit to be. It's really not hard at all. I'm just going to make sure I get all of this in. This is by far the easiest part of the thumbnail. Okay, that's where it's sometimes annoying with the polygonal one, because it just picks that up for some reason. Now with this, it's really annoying because it saves it as one layer, so you're going to have to do the whole thing again. So that is highly annoying. As you can see, I'm way further than what I was now, but you just want to make sure you get everything you want to highlight and make the subject of the thumbnail, like the main part, in this. And as you can see, there'll be a little circle next to it. Click that, and now from here you want to click Control C and Control V. Right. When this happens, just make sure you click back on the original layer, then Control C and Control V. And now what you want to do, this will be saved as a separate layer. Now you can't, if I hide this layer, this bit is saved as a separate layer. So what you want to do now is click on the original layer, click Filter, Blur and Field Blur. Now what this will do, this will blur the rest of the background. As you can see, there's little bits that I've not cut out there. I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. But just, I set this to 7. I think 7's about right. On this one, I think I'm going to try 8, 9. I'm going to do 8. What you want to do now is make sure you selected on the layer that you've just cut out, and then I'm going to go on the, that's not a zoom in, and then click on the eraser tool. Now I've got this set up to the brush size is 8, and I don't know which one I'm actually on. But now what you'll do is you're going really closely and just erase all these little bits that you don't want. Now this is really easy, you just need to be patient. Make sure not to erase like too much of what you need. See, okay, that's about what I need to get rid of. So that's the main, I think that's it done. If you want to, you can also like do your lighter, but you'd have to do that before you've put all the blur on. But that's how I make my gaming thumbnails, and then what I'll do is I'll click File, Save As, make sure it's saved on my D drive, YouTube, Photoshop, Finish Thumbnails. Now the reason I've not got an option, you need to click on this format. The PSD files means you can open it up in Photoshop and edit it. That's what I was on about earlier. You need to make sure this is set to JPEG, JPG, JPEG, JPE, which is this one here, just above the JPEG 2000. As you can see all the rest of my thumbnails there. I'm just going to title this The Forest Solo Ep.7. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dot out because it'll just save it as ep because it's .jpeg. So as you can see there, then you'll click save. Now change the quality to maximum. It's like it's a large file, but it's not a large file. It says it's a large file. It's the largest file. As you can see, kilobytes. It's not much at all. Just keep the map to none, and then just click OK, and then your thumbnail is saved. You can then import it on YouTube. So that's been how to make gaming thumbnails 2017. If you like, be sure to drop a like, comment, tell you my feedback, tell me your feedback, sorry, on how I should improve my videos, or if you want me to do that editing video, tell me that in the comments as well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.